On the way here, we did see quite a few people congregating, some wearing masks, some not, and it's just a reminder that many will be concerned or unhappy with today's restrictions. But that's just one consequence of the restrictions. Another area that will be majorly impacted by it is the hospitality sector, of course. And I'm joined now by Gino, the president of the Caterers Association, who's going to tell us about exactly that. Gino, tell us, what kind of impact will today's restrictions have on caterers like yourselves?
Good evening. Today's restrictions will have a massive blow to our trade, to our industry, with huge financial implications. Difficult to quantify now, but to put things into perspective, this has happened in the weekend prior to Christmas, which is traditionally the busiest weekend of the year, with restaurants fully booked, clients having to cancel, food that has been prepped for tonight, for this evening, having to be, stored and possibly thrown away tomorrow, because we're talking about perishable goods. Staff, employees who have been rotated to work this evening, fearing for their jobs, because, as you well know, we have a shift for the daytime trade and another separate shift for the evening trade, and those jobs are now put at risk. So very, very concerned.
So how are you feeling?
I have endless adjectives but mostly defeated, to be honest. Defeated, discouraged, disappointed, disheartened. Once again, we are at the receiving end of measures that have wide implications to our future, to our livelihoods, and the livelihoods of those who work for us.
Now, you mentioned the financial impact this will have. The Chief Minister has said that he will be looking to provide financial support to caterers. So what kind of support would you be looking for?
Well, I must thank the Chief Minister for phoning me personally, directly, and reassuring us that we will be receiving compensation. So the Chief Minister has offered an olive branch, and we are hopeful that they amount to a substantial amount to be able to compensate for the loss that has been incurred. At this stage, it is very difficult to quantify. In fact, it's going to be a mammoth task to quantify. We just hope that the compensation offered, fully covers the losses suffered.
So could you give us any sense of what kind of losses those might be right now?
It's early stages, but losses as in 100% loss. Obviously, we're closed and we're unable to trade in the evening, so, full losses.
Now, of course, these measures have been put in for a reason, to help stop the spread of COVID-19, which has gone up dramatically over recent days. Is there, we've seen images earlier in the bulletin of quite busy bars and restaurants throughout the course of today. Might this not have happened, or could this decision have been avoidable if caterers had perhaps controlled numbers more?
Let's get things clear. We do empathise with the situation. We are humans, and we're all for saving lives. The problem we have is in the manner in which this has been announced. We've only been given 3 hours notice without prior consultation. So, it's completely uncalled for, the way in which it has been announced. As an industry, we're fully regulated. More than ever, we've introduced measures to try and mitigate the risk of spreading. I am not aware that the virus has been spread in restaurants. I mean, we haven't been contacted by contact tracing, telling us to close down. Hardly any restaurant has been closed down because of COVID. So I assume that the risk is elsewhere. The risk is over. So could we do more? Well, we're fully compliant to the regulations. So.
Might it be possible that, especially after the hours of 7 p.m., which is when the restrictions come into force, people tend to drink a bit more, and that might lower some inhibitions and consequently compliance with guidelines?
Listen, we're not disputing the decision. We're disputing the manner in which the decision has been announced. If this is deemed as the right decision, only time will tell. Obviously, we're not happy with it because it has an implication to our livelihoods, and we're all really concerned of the future, As I said earlier on, we feel, as if we're constantly at the receiving end of restrictions.
Now, we're speaking to you as a caterer, but of course you are probably a father, a son as well. How do you feel about the restrictions on a more personal level?
On a personal level, well, I agree with some restrictions, and I feel that other restrictions aren't necessarily called for. But we have seen a rise recently, so anything that we can do to save lives, we will support. But I come back to the same thing. It's not the actual measures, but the way in which the measures have been announced.